Hi everyone, today we're going to see how to integrate Laravel with Flutter so we can actually connect to a database. In this tutorial, we are going to follow two main steps. First, we are going to connect the Laravel server, which is going to be able to connect to our database. Here, we are going to create the migrations, models, and controllers through frameworks so we can make it fast. And we are going to do also the Flutter setup where we are going to define views, models, and managers for a complete application. So let's start. Well, first we are going to turn on our database. You can use any. In this case, I am going to use MySQL and I am using SAM. This database is only going to have two tables for sample purposes. In this case, we are going to have the products and the categories. So I'm going to run this query. Now we have it here. So the next thing that we are going to do is to actually start a Laravel project. Here we are going to navigate to see SAM htdocs. This is only if you have SAM installed. The next thing is to open up PowerShell here, and we are going to create a project. I'm gonna call it Product Server. And we are going to wait. So we are going to open our project in Visual Studio Code. So now here we have our product. So let's continue. Then the next thing that we are going to do is to modify our end file. So we are going to open it. It should be in the root of our project. So here we have it. You may have something as that and that example. And if that's the case, just remove the that example. Then we are going to paste this one. Here you are going to use the port that it's indicating here. By default is the 3306. And the next thing that we are going to do is to create the migrations. For that, we are going to use this framework. So we are going to open one terminal and we are going to run this code. By default, we have some databases created here. So if you don't want them, you can just remove them. So we are going to delete them. And then we are going to run this one, PHP artisan migrate generate. As you can see here, we have our tables. Now let's proceed on creating our models. For that one, we are going to install this framework. Now let's generate our models. So we are going to open our app folder and our models. And as you can see here, we have our models. If you want that this autofill the created at and updated at, you just need to put this to true. And in order to run the migrations and to run from 0, we are going to run PHP artisan migrate fresh. And we are going to run it. Now we are going to open our database to see if it's correct. We are going to open categories and we are going to open the structure. And as you can see here, it didn't generate the created that. So to do that, we are going to copy these ones. And we're going to open the migrations. And we're going to paste this in categories and this in products. And we're going to run again the migrate fresh. Now let's again reload. And as you can see here, we have the two fields, created at and updated at. This is optional, but you can add it. The next thing is to add the controllers and the resources. To do that, we are going to install this framework. So now let's create them. The hyphen type is going to also create all of the resources, which means that it will provide us with an endpoint for showing, getting all, store, and update. So now that we have created, we are all set. The only thing is to add the new API in the Bootstrap app.php. So this is important because by default we are just having the web.php and the console.php. But as you can see here, we have a new one that is api.php. So we are going to go to Bootstrap to app.php, and here we are going to add it. So I am just copying this one. I am pasting it here. I am saving all. And then that's it. We can actually see all of our routes. And we should be able to see the ones for products and categories, as you can see here. The next thing is just to run our server with PHP Artisan Server. Now let's go to our endpoint. But this, anyway, we don't need it because we just need this one. So the next thing that we are going to do is just to insert some data. So now that it is working, we are going to insert some data so we can actually see if it's retrieving the information correctly. So I'm going to use SQL and I'm going to paste this. And now I'm going to reload it. And as you can see here, this is working. The another one is not working because we removed the other migrations. But if you require them, the only thing that you should do is to just run first the migrate and then do the migrate generate. So now that it's working, we are going to continue with the Flutter setup. So for Flutter, we are going to open Visual Studio Code. We are going to open our command palette, do Flutter new project, application, and let's call it as my prototype. Okay, this is later. So I'm gonna save it here and I'm gonna call it as my prototype. And here we have all of the things from Flutter. So the first thing that we are going to do is to run it, just to make sure that everything is correct. So I'm going to run it in from, I'm going to open the main.dart and I'm going to click on run. So let's wait. So let's just test that it's working. And it's working. So now let's start on adding all of the things that we require. So we are going to take the pubspec.json and going to close this one and I'm going to open it. So we are going to add two things, in-depth dependencies and independencies, which should be here. So in-depth dependencies, we are going to use these libraries, which are going to be used to generate code. And we are also going to add this one. These are for the call to the server. And we are going to put them here. The next thing that we are going to do is to add our models. So if you want to make everything order, then we are going to go to lib. We are going to create a new folder called models, and we are going to create category.dart. And we are going to copy this one. So this is used just for allowing us to do the conversion from JSON and from this class. Here we are going to have some methods, for example, from JSON into JSON, which are going to be useful to just create one endpoint manager that is going to be the one that do the post and get requests. And this is going to be the one that makes the magic to convert it. So now that we have here, you can see that category must match with these ones. And in order to create these two files, we're going to run a command. And the command must be here. So we are going to copy and we're going to paste it. And that's it, it generated. So the next thing is to create product.dart and it's going to be the same. So we are going to copy this one. And this has something different. So this one actually has one that is called category name. And this is just if the name it doesn't match the name that is here. We are going to add this in our server. So to actually show the category name instead of querying it. So for doing that, we are just going to go to the resources, which are going to be in HTTP. We are going to do to product resource. And here we are going to paste the one that is for category name. So which is this one. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it. Basically, this tells us all of the information that we are going to retrieve. So if you add this category name, you should also do that in the controller. So for this one, in Laravel, we are going to use with, and we are going to use category. And this one is related to our model product, this one. And we are going to query again to see if it was added correctly. And let's look for that. As you can see here, we are recovering the category name with the relation. So now that we have that, we can continue doing the setup. Also here, we are going to have something called to JSON, to custom JSON. This is actually just for adding data. So instead of passing all of this information, we are just gonna pass the ones that we are defining here. This is helpful for using the managers that we are going to create. So we are going to run again the command for generating the files. And we are gonna run it. Now we are gonna continue with the managers. So, okay, it's saying that still it doesn't exist, this one. So we are going to create the managers. And I'm going to create the endpoint manager dot. And this one will only be in charge of doing fetch and post request. That is the only thing that this manager will do, just fetch and just post data. The next thing that we are going to do is to create our base manager. This one we have all of the logic for actually adding or getting the information that we want. So we're gonna copy this and we are gonna paste it here. So this manager, so this should be the name of our project. So in this case is my prototype. So this manager is the one that is going to call to add, to get by ID, and to get all. As you can see here, we just need to update our server URL. And that's it. The base root is protected because the other managers are the ones that are going to be defining this value. The base root is, for example, for products and categories, we are going to define something like this. So we are going to do category managers dot, and we're also going to paste it here. So I'm going to put it category manager dot, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to change this to my prototype. Same for here. And as you can see here, we are just extending from base manager, and the only thing that we are going to take is the base root. And we are going to do the same for product manager dot. The only difference between those ones is the base root. So I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna paste the name of the application, my prototype. And that's it. As you can see here, we are already done. And if you remember, in the base manager, we have something called custom JSON convertible. Since this is an abstract class, and here we are saying that it should be extending, there should be an implementation in product.art. The only difference is that it's not recognizing it because of the name. So that's it. Now that we have all, basically this will actually just do the add. We are gonna have the next methods available for each of them. We are going to have an add method, and get ID method, and get all method. And before using them, we have to initialize them. So we're going to look for the main.dart changes here, and we are going to initialize them. So I'm just initialize them here, and let's just import them. And that's it. That's all of the things that we need to actually connect to our server. So the another thing that we are going to do is just to create a view folder that I'm gonna call it as views, and I'm gonna add it as products.dart. this one is going to show all of the products that are in the database. So for that, we are also having some code here. You can customize it or do it accordingly to your system needs. We are gonna copy this one and we are just gonna paste it here. And we're gonna create an add product form.dart. And that's it. It should work. See what are the changes? Remember that in the main Dart we have to return our new page, which is product widget. So let's just copy from here. So it's this one, and this doesn't require any parameters, so I'm just gonna import it. And that's it. Let's see if it's working. And that's good, it's working. But another thing that we should know is that sometimes this may fail, so we are going to create a launch.json file. And here we are going to copy this configuration. Since sometimes our browser doesn't allow us to do direct access to the localhost because it's considered at another route. So we're gonna save this and we're going to run with web security disabled, and we're going to try it. So now let's try with adding something. And as you can see here, we are having the problem with the categories. So we are gonna just do this one. We are gonna do categories. And as you can see here, we are not receiving the ID. So that one is not being parsed, and that's why we are getting 2 or more were detected. So the next thing that we are going to do is to open our category resource, and we are going to return the ID. And we are going to do this ID. And this is because in our model for the category, if we don't receive anything, we are setting to -1. So there are too many IDs with -1. So now that it's fixed, we are going to just try it again. We are going to do plus. And as you can see here, now we have the categories. So let's create one. Creating one product. Just testing. And I'm going to select the last one. And we're going to do add product. And we're going to check that it should be added here. So it's here, creating one product, just testing inputs. That's good. So now that we have all here, we are going to try with our mobile device. So to do that, we are just going to route it to our port. And we are just gonna paste it here. And we can just close the application and open it again. Or you can debug it again. And as you can see here, we have all of the things. Now we're going to try to add a new product. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm gonna do like 5, 5, 5, 5. And I'm gonna select box and I'm gonna click add product. And as you can see here, we have it. And you can also check that in our localhost, it's doing the things correctly. So we are going to open the products. And as you can see here, this is just updated that and created that correctly because we set the timestamp to true. So please feel free to comment.